Welcome to My Right Way podcast. There is no right way to write, but I'm here to share this author's process so I can help you find yours. Today I'm going to chat a bit about reader magnets, what they are, my process for creating one for my next release, and how they can help you with your writing process. Over the last few weeks, I've been finalizing the details of my next release, Soul Taken. This book was my debut in 2013 and has since reverted to me. If you want to know more about the reversion process, you can check out my most recent release, Take Back Your Book, An Author's Guide to Rights Reversion and Publishing on Your Terms. Link is in the show notes. With that release, I've created what's called a reader magnet, though some call it a cookie or lead magnet, and I will use these terms interchangeably throughout the episode. Basically, it's something you give away for free in exchange for something, usually a newsletter signup. Newsletters are so important for authors to have, as who knows when social media platforms will fall out of favor, and all those readers you've cultivated could be gone in an instant. Social media is great for connecting, but it's always a good idea to funnel readers from social media to your list, as you will always have that access to their email address if your social platform of choice disappears. A great resource I found about newsletters is Newsletter Ninja by Tammy Labrecque. I will also link that for you to check out as well. Now that we've discussed the importance of a reader magnet, what can you use as a reader magnet for your fans? This is where you need to step in the shoes of your ideal audience. In the past, on my YouTube channel, I've given away checklists. That's usually the case as I talk about more nonfiction topics about writing and publishing. And usually people come to my channel for expertise in the field, and they just want something to take with them so they can be efficient in whatever I'm teaching. And this can apply to many nonfiction books as well. Other nonfiction reader magnets can include free courses, consultations, and supplemental tools to help your reader with the topic. For Take Back Your Book, I offer a reversion checklist, which readers can download and use for each of the books that revert back to them. It's basically the Cliff Notes version of the steps you need to take to revert and republish your book. For fiction, your ideal reader is someone who enjoys your genre. So it would make sense to offer exclusive chapters or chapters from another character's perspectives, novellas, ebooks, or even digital box sets if you have a large backlist. For the rest of this episode, I'm going to focus on fiction magnets. But if you are interested in hearing about my nonfiction magnet for Take Back Your Book, shoot me a message or email and let me know, and I'd be happy to do that for you. Now, a reader magnet is something I've never really done before for any of my fiction novels. I've heard the advice over and over again, but I never thought I had the time to do it. In reality, it was because I wasn't sure what my readers would want and how to go about creating and sharing this magnet. I needed to push past this fear because I've been given a chance to release this book again my way. I wanted the re-release of Soul Taken to be different than it was before. I wanted to quote unquote do it correctly, but even more so, grow my list of readers, which I never actively did before other than having a link to my newsletter on my website. I wanted to have what's called a warm list coming to me. In essence, that means someone who has read the book and liked it enough to want that extra cookie I was offering. While that all sounds great, it does take some work. So I'm going to go over my process for creating this magnet. For fiction, there are two big categories for magnets: a cold lead magnet and a warm lead. As I mentioned, the warm lead are those who have experienced at least one of your works before, but the cold lead is usually a book or novella that you are using to bring in readers who have never read anything by you. This cold magnet could, of course, appeal to warm leads, but it's mostly used as an introduction to your work. Many authors will run ads on these types of cookies to bring readers into their book series. Initially, I had separate ideas for both a cold and warm lead, but ultimately I decided to start with a warm lead. Why? Well, I was several thousands of words into a cold lead, which was a prequel to the Life After series. The story just wasn't quite there yet. What's important for these magnets is that they have to feel full and complete in exchange for that email. After weeks of working on it, I didn't feel like it was complete enough to warrant a reader feeling satisfied. And that's okay. This really helped me get over my fear of the unknown when it came to reader magnets. I will probably go back to that story someday, but after trying and failing, I had much more confidence in what I wanted to offer my readers. An exclusive epilogue to tide them over until the next book comes out. Now, if you are worried about what to write for your reader magnet, I would say go with your gut. Like books, not all reader magnets will be for everyone, but at the end of the day, it's a free story for your readers. I'm of the mindset that you're not going to please everyone, so make sure you do the best you can, and any rabid fan of yours will be happy enough to get something special and free from you. When Soul Taken was reverted to me and I went into a light edit, I removed a scene that didn't quite belong anymore close to the end of the book. And that was my kickoff point for my exclusive epilogue. But instead of resurrecting that specific scene, I used it as a jumping off point for a series of events that leads my main character toward the events of book 2 in the series. While I tend to plot out my stories, this chapter followed the outline to a T, but my characters and situations changed a bit while writing. When Soul Possessed first came out, I made the newbie mistake of creating a gap in the timeline while keeping my characters in the same mindset, practically negating that time jump entirely. While writing this epilogue, I created the motivation for my character to go down a certain path, and I could finally see where she actually would be mentally at the start of book 2. Knowing where she was at that point, I was excited to create a richer and less sophomore slump book moving forward. This is an incredible exercise that I highly recommend to authors creating a series. A 5,000 word chapter changed the trajectory of my story and expanded the world for my readers. So I wonder what it could do for you. Now that I had half of my fear taken care of, which was the creating of the chapter, I had to decide how I was going to go about sharing it. Now, in terms of the publishing process of this epilogue, as this is a free chapter, I didn't pay for an editor or cover designer. What I did is I read through the story several times and use ProWritingAid for the copy and line editing. I wouldn't recommend this for a full-length novel that you are charging readers for, but it worked out really well for me, considering all the upfront costs that I paid for 3 covers of the series and for editing of Soul Taken. For the cover, I used the same cover as Soul Taken, with quote-unquote exclusive epilogue text on the front. It's simple and to the point, the way I like it. This is a situation where I would say do as much as you can to create a professional magnet and to give your readers the best experience possible. With the final exclusive epilogue and the cover, I went into Vellum, which is the program of choice that I use to format my books, but you can easily use a different program, some that are either less expensive or they are free. And then when it came to sharing the reader magnet, I uploaded those files from Vellum to BookFunnel, which I absolutely love BookFunnel, and I added them to an automation on my newsletter. So only readers who have read Soul Taken or gone to the end of Soul Taken will be able to see the special sign-up link exclusively for that epilogue. While reader magnets aren't the only path to success, I would recommend trying it out for your next book and series. Honestly, what's the worst that could happen? You learn more about your characters, you learn more about your world. I say it's a win-win for you as a writer and for your readers. If you are at all interested in checking out Soul Taken, I have a special launch price of 99 cents for the ebook available on all book retailer websites. And for early access to my reader magnets and future episodes, you can join me on Patreon for as little as $3 a month. With your support, you will also get exclusive access to me with live Q&As, a private Discord server, exclusive information about my books before anyone else, and more at patreon.com/Caitlin Duncan. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing and leaving a review, and I'll see you soon.